What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we'll be taking a look at a title called The Axis Unseen. This one's a little bit of a weirdie, and imagines what if you took a game like Cabela's, or if you took a game like Hunter Call of the Wild and you set it inside of a strange post-apocalyptic monster-ridden universe where you're trying to hunt the creatures that are out here in the hinterland. This game is the brainchild of an alumnus from Bethesda that worked on the Fallout games and on Skyrim and stuff like that. So I figured we'd give it a crack today, do some first impressions for about 30 minutes and take a look at this very public demo that you can go play right this second and give your thoughts as well to help usher the gameplay and also the updates along. If after watching this you wanted to get the game for yourself, I got a link for you down below in the description. From there, I've also got a link to my Twitch stream and my Discord just in case you wanted to hang out live, but let's dive straight on in. Oh, I've already made a friend. There's something over here trying to murder me. It looks like some kind of weird mutated eldritch deer. It's got like skull fang things going on. Huh. It looks like a deer that's been taken over by some kind of bone tentacle that's like sealed its mouth shut. Alright, let's continue on down the hill. This game is very much not about guidance. So you're going to have to get used to that when you're playing around with it, as this is not a game that's going to emphatically tell you to go anywhere or do anything. It's a game that's meant to be explored. It's a game that doesn't really have goals. You kind of just wander around the map, which I've heard. The developer has said that the map for this game is 5 times as large as Skyrim's, but I guess that remains to be seen. But there's going to be things we have to pay attention to, for example, in the Emergent UI, like the amount of arrows we have, the amount of healing crosses we have in the bottom left-hand corner, and of course it's also going to be smart for us to take a look at the wind sock that we have on our healing crosses, because the enemies can smell us while we're moving around the map, which is more than likely how that weird eldritch deer thing became aware of us. A few other things you need to be aware of inside the UI. Our bow is the entire UI. Everything is emergent in this game, so it's not going to give you a meter. It's not going to give you like a stamina bar or anything else that it wants you to figure out. You've just got to kind of learn to look at the UI and figure out how to interpret it, and this is done through the game's own separate language that it contains, which you can learn by going through your journal, which is on your tab key. It'll teach you all about the lore of the universe and what you need to be aware of. So for example, those little squares down there on our bow, the blue ones are energy that we haven't locked in yet. The red ones are energy that we have locked in, and it looks like we got some kind of wolf monster right there that we had to take out. We can spend that. It's effectively XP if you've played any other RPG ever. And so it's going to lock in when we go near those little portals right there. That portal is going to take you to a hub realm that allows you to teleport around the map. We got another wolf coming in from one side here. See if I can get a couple shots on him. Wow, he's not dead, dude. And I got knocked, too. Your character is very, very floaty in this game. It will take some getting used to. Whenever you get hit, you, like, fly through the air in sort of a slow, I guess, exaggerated way. But it does allow you to pull off cool quick shots whenever you desire to do so. At any time, we could use a healing cross just like that. If you look at the tattoo on our hand, that's how much, you see that little crescent in that circle? That's how much HP we're going to have. There's no way for us to refill our arrows or manufacture our own arrows, at least so far as I've found playing the game for an hour or two. But we can increase the capacity of our arrows, which gives the game kind of like a desperate fight type feeling. If we're going to approach, let's go down into the valley for right now. We kind of want to look for anything. So there's like a big fountain of energy over there. We should probably check that out first. So let's head off in that direction. Hopefully we don't get ourselves into too much trouble. We've got 4 arrows knocked for right now. I think I lost one over there somewhere. You automatically vacuum them up while you're cruising around. But I used to do archery when I was growing up with a 70-pound longbow. I never actually messed around with composite bows or anything else like that. I had like a fiberglass longbow that my dad had from high school that was taller than I was, that I started shooting with pretty young for hunting and stuff like that. And so anyways, one thing I can tell you is that when you lose an arrow out in the wilds, you ain't never going to find that thing. They're really, really hard to track down. You can put any type of fletching on it that you want. It can be bright and garish. Chances are you're still going to lose that arrow a lot of the time. Our wood arrow starting amount has been increased by 1, and the new amount is 5. I also have these light arrows over here. I don't think I've unlocked anything else, but I think these light arrows, yeah, you can fire them and you can use them to scout and look around the field, so you can figure out where enemies might be at. Also, pay attention. Oh, I think that deer might be aware of us. Well, I got a hit off on him. 2 hits off on him. That's good. I mean, any starting hunt to get our energy flowing so we can level up our character. The game uses a Dark Souls system as far as energy is concerned. When you die, your orange energy is locked in and you never lose it. So you're going to want to go back to a portal every now and again just to deposit your energy, but all blue energy is lost whenever you die. So keep that in mind. You've got to go back and recover it. There's a little bit more energy that we've picked up. If you're wondering what the little squares mean, they're actually a cipher, which you can find inside your journal right here, which will tell you the numerology or whatever of how the world works, with 1 dot equaling a 1, 2 dots equaling a 2, so on and so forth, so that when you close down the journal and you take a look at your bow, we've got 400 and... well, we've got 410 something. We've probably got like 419 energy is kind of what it looks like to me. I haven't memorized it yet. Oh, that's a 0. So we've got 410 energy for right now that we can bank for later. You are going to want to look for little things like this. It'll allow you to increase the amount of arrows you can carry. There's also going to be journal entries and stuff around that you can pick up. Your character does have magical spells in order to aid in the hunt while you're moving along. But let's first go for that big pillar of light in the sky. I don't know how many arrows I have left. I actually have 5 right now, so we're okay. We want to go into a crouch when we cross these stones right here, because the stones make you move very, very loudly. Think of walking on rocks in this game as kind of lighting off gunshots that every character and creature in the area can hear. I'm really, really happy. I actually played this game about a week ago when the demo first came out, and I wasn't super impressed with it, but it was because of the visual display of the game. There was much too many bloom effects and things interacting with the gameplay, and it looks like the developer actually walked that back in a hotfix over the course of the last couple of days. I don't know if I'm going to hit this. I got him in the leg. I think we got him right there. I think we got our deer. So that should be a little bit more energy for the stash. Werewolf hurt us right there. 2 werewolves. All right, keep on shooting. Is that one down? See if I can get that one in the head. I guess they didn't want me to take out. Maybe they were stalking the deer or something else like that, although I doubt after having played it for a couple hours that it's that complex. The enemies just kind of seem to run at you. I've found that the hunting mechanics, you can kind of like go along with them or you can not go along with them. It hasn't really felt like it mattered to me. In general, I feel like I get bum rushed by everything on the map anyways. Probably has something to do with their sense of smell being a tad overtuned for right now, but it does look like anything that's in that direction over there is going to smell us by default, so we'll want to be careful on our way up the hill. Let's check out this energy over here. Try to avoid walking on any rocks while I can do it too, and then we'll see if we can make it to the gate. These are typically indicating that there's a hub zone or like a fast travel terminal over here, and a lot of the time there's sometimes a superpower or something that you can collect on this side as well. Let me fire off a light arrow to make sure nobody's camping over here, waiting for us to close the gap. Okay, looks reasonably safe, so I'm just going to move up at a normal pace. And if we end up getting into trouble, I guess we end up getting into trouble. But we've got a giant energy well over here that's probably going to give us enough energy for some level ups, so they make our character a little bit more effective at hunting. You've got base attributes. I hear something, but it's in the direction of the wind, so we're not going to be able to effectively stalk it, I don't think. I'm going to get up on top of the bones real quick. So we've got a deer over there. What else do we have around? A deer and something off that way. I don't know exactly what we've got going on, but... ooh, he reflected my arrow. Looks like he glitched out a little bit right there because I'm standing up on the bones. If you're ever having trouble with mobs in this game, just get on top of something. It seems to freak them out. Little Wolfie, you want some of this love and touch and squeezing? Because I'll give it to you, brother. I'll give it to you. I came here to hunt monster flesh. I don't know exactly what I just unlocked from this pedestal, but it said I got a journal entry. Let me get up somewhere safe and see if I can find what that entails. Okay, so what we got is a new rune on our hand. If you take a look, they added one down there that kind of looks like a, I don't know, like a solar panel or something. If there's monsters around, the power says that that's going to glow, and depending on the size of the monster, it's going to get warmer or colder in color, just sort of depending. But it says that it doesn't work if the enemy is stationary. So let's just go back to the hub zone real fast. Oh, there's something big. I hear it. idea. There's some kind of critter over there. Let's go to the hub zone real fast, and I'll show you how the level ups work over on this side. So inside the hub zone, God, it looks so much better in here now that they got rid of... There was like this foggy glow that was all over the top of everything last time I played the game. I'm so glad they removed it. The game feels so much more crisp and like has more fidelity now. That was a very, very smart choice. Like the glow and the bloom and everything else just made this game really difficult to enjoy because it just kind of put this multicolored fog over the top of everything that got in the way of your eye being able to register what you're seeing. Inside the hub zone, you've got all these different structures. You can refill your arrows, for example. You can refill your healing crosses over here just in case you're low on those. And then each of these shrines in the middle, these are going to be ways that you can level up your character. So we've got, for example, we've got fire and strength, which are correlated. Fire and strength will make you better at firing your bow. You can hold your bow back longer, and I think it deals more damage or something like that. How far you can dodge jump and how long you can hold the bow back without it shaking. This guy right here is going to be earth and health. Pretty self-explanatory. How fast you heal and how much health you have. We've also got air over here. This lowers the amount of noise that you make, and it makes you faster while crouched. I'm going to go ahead and take that because it feels like everything in the area is detecting me for right now. And then over on this side, we've got like little things that we can loot, so journal entries, for example. They mostly detail the exploits of hunters that came before you. This seems to be a hereditary job that you're doing from the intro to the game, and so... you know, we picked up after our predecessor was murdered. Over here, there are shrines to the hunt. As you take down bosses and different types of monsters, it's going to add big statues of them over here. And when it adds the big statues, you get journal entries that you can read about them and sort of learn about them Witcher style to make yourself a stronger, more well-rounded out hunter. And I do like the journal very much inside this game. Very immersive stuff. Downside here is that I have to go back outside, and I think that giant ant thing might still be out there. And that concerns me greatly. But over on this side, you can also see an armory that's going to have all your different equipment and different quivers and stuff like that lined up. So I'm guessing there's stuff to find out there inside the game world that we just need to track down. I don't remember exactly what gate I came through. So I'm going to come back out this way, and hopefully it works out. It did indeed. All right, let's check the wind direction so we know which direction to progress in. So that's going to be, everything down there is downwind of us, so we don't really want to go in that direction for right now. We want to go in this direction so that we're upwind of anything that might smell us or hear us. Hopefully this air level up helps out with enemies just being aware of me across hills and whatnot. Looks like there's something glowing right there. And it looks like there's something glowing right there as well. Now this is a fully open, seamless world with no loads in it. You just wander around, do your thing. Is the wind still on my side here? Wind's still doing okay, so I can live with it. I think we'll probably make for that beam of light right there just to get a view of what it might be. I'm going to move a little bit quicker. I'm not going to keep myself in crouch mode, and I'll pull you guys back on in if anything interesting happens. We have something down there, but I don't know if he's aware of me. I think we got him. There's another one over here. They're not aware of me. I think he's coming to investigate for right now, but we're going to want to pick up that energy pretty shortly. I think the shot was right about there. Oh, missed with that one. It's fine, though. We had enough of a range gap on him that we could take him down before he became a considerable threat. Let's grab a little bit of goodies over here. I'm going to try to avoid stepping on stones, but it looks like a big pack of our energy is in the stones right now. So I'll go ahead and grab that. We got our... something's around, I hear it. It's on our right. Oh, God. Okay. Oh, I've been bit. Not ideal. Oh, he's just glitching out in the air, huh? All right, where are the rest of them at? Healing cross real quick. I don't want to use my heals as of right now, but if I have to, I will. Did I take down that other one? I don't see any energy floating around, so like, I'm a little bit concerned he just like ran off. I've only got 4 arrows left, so we may have to go back to resupply pretty soon. There he is. All right, head tapped. Sounds like there's more of them, too. Let's carry on forward, but I'm going to try to avoid the noise traps if I can. There's big stuff out here. Okay, so there's something in that direction that we probably don't want to trigger. It's probably one of those big ant guys. I still haven't found, like, a meaningful way to get rid of the big ant guys. Invisible wall right here blocking my progress. Yeah, big ant guy. Okay. Let's see if we can get away from him real fast. I'm just going to kind of, like, jump down the hill. But he's big. He gets real good steps in whenever he's around, so we're just going to have to outpace him for the moment. One thing to keep in mind is that none of your magic powers or anything else in this game function if your heart rate is high. The game does not have a stamina meter. It does not have, it kind of has a health meter. But anyways, with the stamina meter, you don't have one, so it's hard to know how much stamina you're going to have left a lot of the time until you hear your heart in your ears. Is he still trying to chase me down? I think he is. That's poison gas. We don't want to go into that. It's going to cause us to lose health pretty rapidly and aggressively. I'm guessing we get a power later on that allows us to burn it off or something. We can now have 7 arrows. That's good. I'll take 7 arrows. I see something glowing over here, and it looks like there's a ruin or something on this side. So I'm going to try to keep my eyes open. It sounds like we're making like huge amounts of noise, though, moving across the water like this. So if there's anything over here that means to do us harm, it's definitely going to be aware of us before we're aware of it. Dead guy. Dead guy. I don't know what happened to all these people, but it seems like the apocalypse was rough. It looks like we've got another teleportation gate to get us around. I don't think we have a map just yet, but that will lock in all of my energy right there. And I think we have enough for another level up. If nothing else, we should unlock this fast travel portal real quick. And it looks like... Oh, look at that. It marks it with a rune if it's the one that we came through. Okay, that's helpful. Definitely a game about observation. Like, this game is going to explain nothing to you. This game has a really, really, really terrible tutorial. It's kind of like a music video, and so each section of the tutorial is timed, and the game doesn't really validate that you've locked in or learned any of the mechanics that it's teaching you. And so just understand that this is a game that you're supposed to feel out in the dark. You're supposed to kind of feel disoriented and not know what's going on. I'm guessing that's the intent anyways. Now that we're restocked on arrows and we've got our healing crosses all filled back up, I think I see an energy well over here. So we'll see if we can add that to our inventory. It may just be more arrows or something like that, but maybe we'll get something actually useful. Yeah, we can have 8 wooden arrows now, and there's a scroll right there with another story from another hunter. The journal entries are quite long. A little low. I gotta get used to the arc on this, dude. My parabolic knowledge is not as good as it could be. Get my arrows back real quick. They do leave blood trails. Some enemies in this game do run away and try to disengage. For example, like the deer, and then you've got to track them. If you see blood spurts coming off of them, it means they're bleeding out. And you can follow them until you find the corpse, if you want to. Aw, that hit his helmet. Stab him on the way by. We do have a melee weapon that we can unleash on the enemy if we need to. Got that one in the skull, too. I gotta stop going for headshot. Oh, God. Okay, we got a little wolfy boy over here that wants the smoke, and I am very much out of restoratives right now, so we're gonna have to knife fight him. There we go. Big knife stab. And another knife stab right there. I don't have any arrows left, so I think I'm going to have to dive back into the portal to get that refilled. I don't remember shooting that many arrows, but I guess I shot that many arrows. And I think it just told me that I need to find a bigger quiver, too, before I can stock all of my arrows. And so we'll add that to the old discovery queue of things that I need to find before we're going to be safe. We've got a decent amount of energy locked in right now. It looks like we've got about 320 energy. I guess there are little load screens. I guess I shouldn't have said seamless. This part of the gameplay, you just kind of wander around and do your own thing. So the wind is still going in that direction. So I think we're in. Oh, there's birds circling something over there. God only knows what. Big werewolf running around over here. Maybe put a little bit of damage on him. Yeah, there we go. Give me those arrows back, though. Like, low-key, though. Let me get those arrows back. Those are going to be helpful. I'm going to need those. We got, like, 226 energy off of him. All right. I'm going to wait for a straight shot. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'll just take the shot right there. I don't know exactly what the hit zones are on a lot of the little enemies. Did I get my arrow back? I think I did. Something nasty out that way, and unfortunately, he's gonna smell us. I see a big Skeletor guy up on the hill, though, so I'm gonna go investigate that. We got a deer on this side. Okay, hit him. We'll go ahead and follow up. He's gonna bleed out over here up the hill somewhere. I'd rather not engage with whatever's behind me right now, because I don't know what it is. But it sounds big and it sounds cranky. He appears to be aware of us. But we have other problems to deal with. Okay, he bled out. Another one over here. Deer's still not down either, and I want my arrow back. Oh, he stopped. Okay, let me get all my arrows back. Did he spit out one of my arrows? No, it's still in the front of him. That finish him off. Where's Big Imp Boy at? He's staying on me pretty aggressively right now. And you don't want to get hit by the big ant attack if you can help it, but it's not really going to matter if the ant can smell me. Alright, we're back up to full arrows. Our ultimate goal was whatever this thing is on the top of the hill. It looks like this dude's got big peen energy over here, and I would like to absorb that big peen energy. Imagine having a dick so massive that when you die, it leaves an energy crater next to your skeleton body. Pretty wild and crazy, right? My man should have been proud of himself. I don't know what he did in life, but apparently he had a dick so large that it had gravity or something. It looks like it's just free XP. I don't see anything else around here to collect, so I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm a little surprised there's no like foraging or like finding oils or like plants or anything else. It seems like a natural addition to a game like this. God. It says there's something back in over there, but I'm not convinced that I'm not like backtracking by going over here. But I guess I can go take a little look. Weather's shifted on us, so we've got a crosswind right now. The wind does not affect your arrow shots, interestingly enough. I expected it to, a la something like Cabela's or something like that, but it actually does not. And so I wouldn't worry about it too heavily. Well, I stabbed a deer to death with my bare hands. However, we definitely have like a riotous deer storm headed our way. That was going to be a tough shot either way. I had to shoot him like in the foot. There we go. Can I finish him off with a knife? Perfect. Got him with the knife. I don't know where the other deer went down, but it looks like we've got another quiver upgrade on this side, so I'll take that. I think the other deer went down right there. He bled out. Alright, we should be good. Cool. We've got 9 wood arrows now. I just gotta find a quiver big enough to carry them all. Oh, I don't like you one bit. You can go away right this second. Is he running for it? I think he's running for it. There's another wolf over there, though. Got him with the head tap, so that's an easy fix. I just want to collect my energy, dude. It's a busy world out here. All right, a little more energy collected. Let's see if I can track this guy. Sometimes they leave footprints and stuff on the ground that you can follow. I don't see any, and I don't see a blood trail either from hitting him with that arrow. So he might be kind of hidden back here. So let me get down to business here with my thoughts about the game, because I think this is actually going to be a long one. This one was a thinker. I had to do this one in post because I had a lot of conflicting thoughts that I needed to sort out about this game on paper before hitting the closing remarks. Like, I had to make like little flowcharts and stuff. So there are things I like here in the Axis Unseen. The Emergent UI is cool, having all the information relayed to you by your quiver, the wind direction, your tattoos, the runes on your bow, the runes that you have to learn from your journal. They don't tell you what they mean. You've actually got to go through your journal and read them. Those are all really rad, immersive ideas. I like those as an immersive sim gamer. The world is full of weird things to stumble across that give you sort of Oddworld, Bone Hydra, punk rock, heavy metal vibes that are very likable, and the world kind of drips with style when it comes to the points of interest that you get to that leave you questioning yourself, what the hell happened here? From there, I felt like shooting the bow feels pretty good. You get used to the parabolas. Casting magic feels nice once you've got some spells. The sound design is done pretty well, too. Hearing a footstep in this game, like somebody stepping on a twig, will stop you in your tracks every single time and have you listening for the slightest inclination of where the attack might be coming from. There's foreboding in the woods, and the woods themselves look pretty good while doing it now that they've reduced some of the bloom effects and whatnot that existed in the demo I played like a week ago. The journals and lore are decently written. They're interesting to dive into, but I didn't really find them super useful to get that Witcher-style feeling of prep research before I went on a hunt, which is what I was hoping for. From there, some observations about stuff the game could be doing better. So, like, the marketing stuff that I saw, the game seemed to be a take on Hunter Call of the Wild, set in a freak world that's full of monsters that are actively trying to hunt you down while you are trying to hunt them down simultaneously. But my experience has kind of been the opposite in the 2 or so hours that I've chugged out in the demo for this impressions video. The tutorial first up is like a timed music video that doesn't give you enough time to learn the mechanics at the beginning. They've got to redo that entirely. They give you like 8 seconds in each phase of the tutorial to process like inputs and like what the game wants you to be doing. And so it's possible that the game just like taught me how to play it wrong just from having a bad tutorial. The game world, while quite large from what I've seen, didn't feel like it had like a geographical flow or like logic to it. It just kind of felt like you look for the light in the sky, you head there to find whatever the next big thing or upgrade is, deal with some monsters along the way, and maybe find a couple points of interest on the way in between. From there, enemies don't really have animalistic habits to immerse you in the game that you need to learn in order to swing things in your favor, like other hunting games. They just sort of silently glide around the terrain. They just sort of glide along the terrain and seem to spawn randomly on different sides of you from time to time, giving the game a very project in progress feel to it. Like, the beasts don't have extra flavoring to them as well. Like, they don't roll in dirt patches in their free time. Ants don't, like, tend to the trees and, like, reach down to plant plants and things of that nature. They don't have idle things they do while they're not engaged with the player, I guess, that makes them feel more alive and more immersive. The deer don't bed down, you know, stuff like that. Everything just kind of, like, clip-clops around once it spawns, not really doing anything in particular that implies intent, until they eventually smell you, because the hunting mechanics here I feel like could be tightened up as well. Like, it's possible that this game is meant to be more action focused and I got the wrong idea, but the problem is that the action feels really floaty and really weightless, and thus came across kind of unsatisfying for me as well. So I fell back on stalking because I didn't really like brawling with the enemies, but I found that to be a little bit unsatisfying as well because I upgraded my air like crazy so that I would be super quiet, but enemies always seem to notice you a lot of the time. Smell seems to be the big problem here. I paid attention to the ground I was walking on. I only crept around the map in sneaky mode. I paid attention to the direction of the wind. I would sneak up on a pack, fire one arrow, and then everything would be aggroed on me. Or like a separate pack, while I was doing all this careful maneuvering, would smell me from across the top of like a distant hogback. They would all aggro, and while I was trying to deal with them, the noise of dealing with them that I couldn't see over there, and I guess I maybe could have used a spirit arrow to scout a little bit better, would then aggro the pack that I was stalking, and so now I'm fighting like 6 monsters at once and running like crazy, which is grabbing more aggro. And so I think that needs to be tightened up and made to be a little bit more structured. That was my real thought coming out of it. And so I thought that this game was actually going to be like a proof of concept or like a first patch for the early access. And so in that case, I would have been like, cool, fine, whatever, you know, they'll patch this stuff up, they'll get it cleaned up, and I'll come back in a year and see what's going on with it. But the game says that it's slated for full release in 2 weeks. And so that to me is concerning. So from my eye, there's a couple things that would make this a much better experience. The stealth and the hunting needs to be tightened up, made to be more consistent, more structured, and more predictable, because right now the beastly awareness feels quite high, and most of my hunts end in just giant spiraling brawls after I snipe like 1 or 2 targets from stealth. And then from there, the game also kind of lacks the Ranger-esque gameplay I was hoping for, I guess. There's no harvesting of plants or animals to craft new things. There's no covering yourself in mud or piss like normal hunters would do to disguise your scent, a la something like Predator Hunting Grounds or Cabela's. Like, walking in water should nullify your scent for the most part, but I didn't notice that working. And water, for all intents and purposes in this game, is just another form of noise trap like the stones on the ground, so you kind of want to stay away from it. I didn't see supplementary things like snares, bait, repellent, all that kind of, you know, decoys, things of that nature that would get you into the hunt. Other than that, like, enemies don't really respond to being shot in realistic ways with the bow. If there's a wolf running at you at high velocity and you ping him right in the shoulder, he doesn't wipe out and roll a couple times and then recover and snarl and try to come back at you. If you shoot a troll in the face, he doesn't really seem to notice. He just keeps hammering towards you. He doesn't grab his eye or anything else like that or scream in pain. And so there's a lot of little missing details here that I would have liked to have seen. Really, the way that I would boil it down is that this feels kind of like the first patch of an early access to me, and if that was the case, I'd be like, yeah, cool, whatever, man. The invisible walls, the weird wonky animations, things of that nature, the floatiness of the main character, that could all be excused because there'd be content on the way, and the whole thing would kind of be working its way towards a contiguous 1.0. But since the 1.0 is what's releasing in 2 weeks, the way that I'll summarize is there's a lot of really good ideas inside of this game. There are things that I like very much about the UI and kind of the tone of the game, but unfortunately, given the fact that it's a one-man operation, there's also a lot of wonk, jank, invisible walls, and things of that nature inside this title, and a lot of like unsatisfying impacts on animations and attacks and things like that that don't really seem to affect your enemy in a real physical way. There's not a lot of plotting and scheming that goes along with the hunting inside of the game, and I guess I was expecting something slower and a little bit more eerie and a little bit more preparation-based. And so anyways, if you're okay with the jank and the wonk and all that kind of stuff, there are some interesting ideas on offer here in the Axis Unseen, but I found it to be a little bit of a mixed bag. That's just my takeaway. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, it was the Axis Unseen. Tomorrow it'll be something else. I'll catch y'all later, and thanks for hanging out.